kalang. You remember there is one word, paviveka. Paviveka. Paviveka means the seclusions. Seclusion. Seclusion means living alone. So that means resting. So in Pāļi term for resting, we call vivekam or even paviveka. Paviveka, viveka, paviveka. So those terms related to resting or taking some rest, having some rest, relaxing. So that is called viveka kalang or viveka. Okay. And last means like for when you concern like the last among the letters, like last that call ang. You remember like a, I, u, e, o, kakha, gagha, nga, chacha, jajha, nya, tatha, dadha, na, tatha, dadha, na, papha, babha, ma, ya, ra, la, va, sa, ha, la, ang. So last one is called ang. Ang in Pāļi it is called niggahita. Niggahita. So niggahita is unable to pronounce, unable to use without vowel. So always niggahita is followed by the niggahita is used with vowels. So just to remind you that like ang. So always this ang, right? When you see this word like evang, me sutang, me sutang. So this term actually I just pointed out before I mentioned that a and o always pronounced in Pāļi language as long vowels. Long vowels. So when you read many discourses, you find or you meet these terms evang me sutang. Evang me sutang. What does mean evang me sutang? Evang me sutang. What does it mean? You remember when they have when they conducted the first Sanghayana, first Sangha Council. Venerable Mahakassapa was asking questions from Venerable Ananda. Then Ananda was saying that this is what I have heard. So then evang me sutang, me means by me, evang means thus, sutang means have heard, or otherwise you can translate as thus I have heard. Thus I have. So thus here like evang. Evang means thus. May I have or by me. Sutang means have heard. So thus I have heard or thus have heard by me. And this is one like when you pronounce this word like evang, me, evang, me, sutang. And no hetang bante, no hetang bante. No hetang bante. This is like okay, forget about the word bante, but no hetang means very common word. When someone asks, no, it is not. It is not like that. It is not like that. In Pāļi they call no hetang. No hetang. No, it is not. It is not. No, it is not. Actually, if we when we convert into Pāļi some general language system, they are exactly like what we are using in nowadays, right? So no hetang means it is not. No hetang. So it is not. No hetang bante. Bante means venerable, sir. Bante means venerable. So Buddha was asking the question, it is so. Then they replied to the Buddha, no hetang bante. No, it is not. It is not venerable. It is not a reverencer. But venerable or reverend, you can use either one of these terms. but basically I understand that the Reverend quite familiar with Christianity or the Christian fascia or the church, what they use for their veneration. So, but in venerable, because in the earlier period some translation done by those scholars, but that is the reason, like in old translation you can see that they use the term the Lord Buddha. So nowadays when they translate, they don't use such terms like the Lord before the Buddha, but instead of that they just use the term the Buddha, not the Lord Buddha. So something to remind you that in early period, I mean, when we concerned with the translation, what they used, and nowadays they are concerning like whether these terms are exactly fixing with Pāli terms or not. So in such sense, nowadays like Nibbana, we don't translate, we just remain Nibbana as Nibbana. So some terms we like dukkha. Okay, you can get basic meaning by translating dukkha as suffering, but beside that it is not exactly covering exact essence of the Buddha's teaching as he expected by using the term dukkha. So then nowadays they're concerning about whether it is translating as a non-satisfactoriness or some words like unpleasant or non-satisfactoriness, such terms, but basic translation you can take as dukkha. So as I said earlier that there are some terms, I mean pronunciations, exactly it has to be a long vowel, so the long pronunciation, that the two letters A and O. But as I said, beside these some words, if you see that etta, because of these two letters, these we call combined letters. So because of this combining or the joining or joined letters, we pronounce the first A as short vowel, etta, seyo, otto, sotti. You remember the word like bojjang. So what does mean bojjanga? Bojjanga means the factors of enlightenment. Look at the word bojjanga. So here it is the called combinations. It is called combination. So in Pali we call sandhi. So there are two terms inside this one word bojjanga. So it is called bodhi anga. Bodhi means enlightenment. Anga means the factors. Okay. Picture. What does mean picture? Picture means next life. Next essence. Picture. In Pali we call picture. Ida sochati, peccha sochati. So there is one stanza in Dhammapada. Ida sochati, peccha sochati. He suffers in this very life. He suffers in next life. Ida sochati, peccha sochati. So peccha means next life. And samecha means gathered. Samecha, united, gathered. So they call Pali term for that one samecha. Even though inside the word like it is this letter E, but because of second part of the words combined letters, so we pronounce as picture. So remember that A, O always pronounced as a long vowel, but in some case, if the second part of the word appears as combined letters, so in such sense or the such word, we pronounce A, O as short vowels. So that is actually basic I mean, like just to remind you that the alphabet. And okay. Next, I would like to draw your attention that when you build up a sentence, there are a few things that you have to notice and you have to know in Pali. As I said, like the sentence is structure. Sentence is structure. In English, we call subject, verb, object, right? Subject, verb, object. So we call SVO. But in Pali, like subject, verb, object. So it is like I go to the village. I go to the village. I go to the city. Something like that. So as you know that is subject, verb, object. But in Pali, it is called subject, object, verb. Subject, object, verb. So that sentence is structure we call SOV. Ahang gamang gacchami. Ahang gamang gacchami. I ahang gamang. Gamang means village. If you want to change into the city, nagarang. Ahang nagarang gacchami. I am going to the city. I am going to the city. So gacchami, it is in present tense, first person, singular, gacchami. Ahang nagarang gacchami. And if you want to convert this sentence into the plural form, mayang nagarang gacchama. Mayang nagarang gacchama. So then for that reason, we have to know that the part of the speech. So part of the speech, it is like combining. There are four things at least basically you have to be familiar with when you build up a sentence in Pali. So the first thing is that the noun. So that is very common even in English. So you have to know that a noun. In Pali, it is called nama. Nama means noun. Nama means noun. So we are having like three categories of the noun: pullinga, ithilinga, napunsaka linga. So pullinga means masculine. Pullinga means masculine. Venerable students, you can see the slide, right?
Yes, Ajahn.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. So please, yes, you can follow that. Later, when I finish this one, I will share the slide with you. So that will be quite helpful for you to follow up. And basically the nouns they divided masculine, pullinga nama, masculine, and feminine, ithilinga, and napunsakalinga they translate like a neuter. So masculine, feminine, neuter. They sound like that buddho, buddha. So the buddha, the term comes under masculine. Rukho, rukha. Remember that in Pali the gender based on declension. So that's why that's the reason like rukha has no sense like no something like having life, but in declension it comes like akaranta. So then they use the term the declension. According to the declension, it comes under masculine, right? Even though like the term nadi or Ganga. Nadi means in Pali we call river. Nadi in Pali, when we translate into English, river. Ganga, river. So these two nouns like Nadi, Ganga, they come under feminine or ithilinga. linga. So what are the categories of neuter Napunsaka linga? Just like the term mana. Mana means mind. Mana means mind. So as you know that the declensions of the noun pullinga like buddho buddha, ittilinga itti itti ittio, itti itti ittio, pulling ittilinga noun. And also like Napunsakalinga, if you take the term mana, manang, mane, manani, manang, mane, manani. So this don't worry, just listen and at the moment. So this is just the beginning. So when you go through all the lessons, those taught by different, the scholars or the Pāļi, those who familiar with Pāļi, you may feel comfortable or familiar with basic some usage of the language. So here you have to know that they are having three gender. That is very normal. But in gender in Pāļi we call the noun in Pāļi we call nama. Noun in Pāļi we call nama. They are having three gender. That is called linga. Linga means the gender. Linga means the gender. So pullinga, ittilinga, napunsaka linga. They are having three different genders. And things that you have to know when you build up the sentence. Akhyata. Akhyata. Akhyata, when we translate it to English, it is called verb. So basically noun and verb, then we can build up the sentence, right? When you know. But so in Pāļi, it is same as in English, but we are using the terms in Pāļi we call atita kala. Atita kala. So atita kala means the past tense. Atita kala means the past tense. And vattamana kala, the present tense. Vattamana means the present. Also vattamana, another term for the vattamana they call pachuppanna. Pachuppanna. So pachuppanna kala. Atita kala, pachuppanna kala. So pachuppanna same as vattamana. And also the future tense. Future tense. So the verb are having verbs. Any verbs are having these three categories. So three times. So the tenses atita, vattamana, anagata. Anagata means the future tense. So it is interesting if you read the word anagata itself. Anagata means na agatang. Na agatang kalang they call anagata. The time has not arrived yet. So that is called anagata kala. So the when the sentence like any sentence we can build up when we know that what is the noun and verb, right? As I said, simply I can say that ahang gacchami, I go. Ahang gacchami, I go. So maybe you have a second question, where are you going? Where are you going? So ahang gacchami, someone can ask me that kuhin gacchasi. Kuhin gacchasi. Kuhin means where. Gacchasi means are you going? Where are you going? Kuhin gacchasi. Where are you going? So you can add something like, I am going to the university. I am going to the university. So ahang vissavidyalang gacchami. Ahang university means vissavidyalang. Vidyala means the college. Vissavidyala means the university. So ahang vissavidyalang gacchami. I am going to the university. So someone can ask, why are you going to university? So then you can add something more like ahang vissavidyalang ugganhaya gacchami. I am going to university for studies. For studies. Ugganhaya. So this is like basic structure, like when we started with simple sentences like ahang gacchami. Ahang, you can use any same like so kadati. So kadati. He eats. He eats. So khadati. He eats. King kadati. What does he eat? What does he eat? So then you can change. Oh, So bhattang kadati. So palang kadati. Palang means the fruit. Palang means the fruit. So he eats fruits. He eats fruit. What fruit? Maybe banana. Banana in Pāļi we call kadali. Kadali. Banana. Kadali. So kadaling kadati. He eats banana. So that is the way. So this basically the verb is having these three tenses: atita, vartamana, anagata. So if you read, if you see that gacchati, gacchati, gacchati means goes. Gacchati means goes. Okay, I will maybe something like this: gacchati, gacchati. For singular, goes, and for the plural, gacchanti, go. Right? Gacchati, gacchanti, goes. So if we see that for this is in the still like a simple present tense, but in the past tense you can use like a gaching. Sorry, gaching, gaching, gaching. Past tense for the singular went, and for the plural gachingsu, gachinsu. Again for the plural gachinsu, gachinsu, gacchati, gacchanti. For the past tense, gachin, gaching, gachinsu, or agachi, gachi, gachingsu, gachi, gachinsu. For the future tense, gamisati, gamisati. Or even you can say that gachisati, gachisati. For the singular, shall go. And for the plural, gamisanti, gamisanti or gachisanti, gamisanti or gachisanti. So this is like for the moment, just don't worry that this will come in the future. I mean the lessons. But for the moment, I just try to remind you that the tenses are having like so such differences within when we put into the conjugations, the verb conjugations. So gacchati, gacchanti, present tense; gachi, gachingsu, past tense; gachisati, gachisanti, future tense. So the verbs are having these three tenses. So when you know like these differences within the conjugations of the noun, then you can build up the sentence. So nama akyata,
Sorry to everyone. My lecturer is out of battery of cell phone, and he will leave the PowerPoint to our tomorrow. Pamaha Ashila will send you the PowerPoint and all slides. Finally, we would like to say sincerely thanks to my lecturer today, Assistant Professor Dr. Piya Ratana. And tomorrow we will join this class at the same time at 3 p.m. Many thanks to everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
พอดีอาจารย์แบตหมดนะครับแล้วก็
Recording stopped.
ไม่มีที่ชาร์จแบตมาด้วยครับอาจารย์ก็เลยฝากขอโทษมาด้วยครับเดี๋ยวพรุ่งนี้เจอกันแล้วก็จะมี PowerPoint เป็นสไลด์บรรยายเดี๋ยวจะส่งให้ในกลุ่มด้วยนะครับผมไงก็เจอกันพรุ่งนี้ครับอนุโมทนากับทุกท่านด้วยนะครับ
ขอถามนิดนึงนะคะไม่ทราบพอดีไม่มีตารางว่าเรียนกี่ครั้งนะคะ
เดี๋ยวส่งกำหนดการให้นะครับในกลุ่มนะครับกลุ่มแชทเห็นไหมครับเดี๋ยวจะส่งให้นะครับ
กลุ่มแชทชื่ออะไรนะคะ
นี่ครับเพิ่งส่งให้นะครับนี่ครับกลุ่มแชทเห็นไหมครับ
ขอโพส
ไปแล้วในแชทนะครับนี่ครับสามารถโหลดได้เลยครับกำหนดการเห็นไหมครับ
โอเค
ครับโอเคครับโหลดได้เลยนะครับขอโทษถ้าวันนี้อาจารย์ฝากมาขออภัยว่าท่านภารกิจเยอะนะครับขอโทษค่ะ
มันไม่ขึ้นนะคะโหลดตรงไหนอะคะ
ไม่ขึ้นเหรอครับได้งั้นเดี๋ยวส่งให้ในไหนดีนะครับทิ้งอีเมลไว้ก็ได้ครับเดี๋ยวส่งเมลให้ครับทิ้งอีเมลไว้นะครับ
ขอบคุณค่ะ
ครับ
กราบขอบพระคุณเจ้าค่ะได้รับเรียบร้อยแล้วนะคะ
งั้นไม่ต้องส่งผ่านอีเมลแล้วนะครับ
เห็นอยู่ในเป็นไฟล์ PDF ดาวน์โหลด
ใช่ครับโอเคครับโมทนาครับ
กราบสาธุเจ้าค่ะ
สาธุค่ะ
meeting นะครับ so if you don't have any information I will end this meeting for all of you thank you so much